Well, good evening. This is Hound Dog Steve coming to you on the 7th of November, and because the clocks went back this weekend, it's very dark out there, and we've got our first -6, I think it's Thursday, well, Friday. The high is -6 and the low overnight is -8. So yeah, get those long johns out and those mitts, and yeah, get ready for winter. Anyway, what I wanted to do was give you a quick update about Bitcoin, and I just wanted to point out a few little contradictions that are taking place. And this is the article that I have been reading, and it's BP, Shell lead push for blockchain energy trading platform. And I just find it's absolutely fascinating that they're going to use blockchain technology to basically trade energy. Okay, so this is a consortium including energy companies BP, PLC, Royal Dutch Shell, and will develop a blockchain digital platform for energy commodities trading, expected to start by the end of 2018, the group said on Monday. Blockchain technology, which first emerged as the architecture underpinning cryptocurrency Bitcoin, uses a shared database that updates itself in real time and can process and settle transactions in minutes using computer algorithms with no need for third-party verification. Okay, now I've just put together a few examples, so I'm going to flip over to that and let you see those. And also look at the chart of Bitcoin. Bitcoin just broke through the $7,000 mark, and it got up to a high of about 7,400, I believe, before slipping back now to about 7,100, somewhere in that range. So anyway, take a look at these articles that I picked up, and we'll talk in a moment. Okay, so here we go. Reuters. Banks adopting blockchain dramatically faster than expected, IBM. London, banks and other financial institutions are adopting blockchain technology dramatically faster than initially expected, with 15% of top global banks intending to roll out full-scale commercial blockchain products in 2017. The technology company said 65% of banks expected to have blockchain projects in production in 3 years' time, with larger banks, those with more than 100,000 employees, leading the charge. Japan Bank Consortium plan to use blockchain technology from Google-backed Ripple to make payments. This follows a successful implementation of a pilot program where the 47-member consortium used technology from blockchain startup Ripple for a cloud-based payments platform called RC Cloud. The platform allows member banks to do real-time money transactions in Japan, as well as make cross-border payments at a significantly lower cost. Oh, fancy that. But this I thought was interesting. I never knew that the Google-backed Ripple coin. Now it'll be interesting to see where Ripple goes. Trump administration focuses on blockchain technology adoption. The US President Trump administration has reaffirmed its commitment to blockchain technology adoption in the government operations as an important policy and strategy. This was reiterated by two senior White House officials at the Data Transparency 2017 conference held in late September. In her conference remarks, U.S. Office of Management and Budget Acting Federal Chief Information Officer Margie Graves, the federal government is exploring several forward-leaning capabilities of artificial intelligence and blockchain that could benefit the operations of the government. Graves specifically claimed that blockchain or distributed ledger technology can be used to reduce waste, spending, and incidents of fraud, as well as bolster cybersecurity defenses of the country. These kind of technologies are always something that we should explore. I don't want my customers to be the last to know or the last to be able to take advantage of some of these. Can Bitcoin become a major reserve currency by 2030? This is by Coin Journal. According to the research released in late 2015, UK-based Magister advises a financial institution which focuses on facilitating mergers and acquisitions in the technology sector, explained that Bitcoin could become the sixth largest reserve currency by 2030. Bitcoin has experienced exponential growth since 2009 based on many indicators including user base, trading volume, price, market cap and global adoption. In the last year, some of the largest financial and technology conglomerates including JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs and Fidelity Investments have grown increasingly optimistic towards Bitcoin. Now that is interesting because Jamie Dimon was speaking out against Bitcoin recently. See, so these people really are not the ones you need to be listening to. You need to be listening to people with a little common sense. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin chart from Coinbase, resting at 7,120 and 1 cent, and you can see the ups and downs, but we are going into higher highs and higher lows all the time. Now, incidentally, just in case you're wondering, this is what the trajectory of a solid stock looks like. Like if you're in the stock market and investing, a company should look like this. Okay, where they will go up, they will rise. They see there was a steep climb here, then they drop down, up a little bit, drop down, up a little bit more, drop way down. That was a reconsolidation moment. Okay, then a rise, and then another drop down. This is a reconsolidation moment. But each time it drops down, it comes back, drops off a little more. It's consolidating all the way up. This coin has been consolidating, and what's actually happening is as there are less and less coins to be mined out. Of course, the price will increase. But Bitcoin, I think the people who know about money know that Bitcoin cannot rest until it equals the debt of the world, because that is the only way to extinguish the debt of the world. When one Bitcoin is worth $300,000 and all debts can be taken care of. And so you're going to see Bitcoin continue to accelerate. Now, I've got to add here that this is only my opinion, this is only my projection, these are based on my ideas and my research. Okay, so don't trust me. Please go out and do your own research. Like I say, I'm not a financial expert, I don't have any qualifications, I passed no exams. I am just drawing on my 60, well, I guess from the age of 14 onwards, so we'll say 50 years of experience in this world, and watching and listening to people and what they say and watching what they do, and know that what they say is not always what they do. So the government is adopting this now, the banks are adopting this. I am glad that I heeded my advice and I bought into Bitcoin. I say I don't have a lot, but if Bitcoin goes to $300,000 a coin, I can retire. So I'm just going to sit back, I'm going to wait, I'm not going to fool around with this too much. I did trade some of my Bitcoin in, as I said, for Litecoin and Ethereum, and but this to me is a long-term buy and hold. Just be patient. Be patient, don't panic, don't expect a fast return, and every time you feel like you want to draw out on a high, you will always end up regretting that move, I believe, because you will see greater highs very shortly afterwards. So yes, 7,566 was the amount right here that it got up to. So we are well on our way to 8,000, and I almost guarantee you're going to see a continuation of this, of an upward growth and then a reconsolidation, and look out and buy on those dips. So what I deduce from all of this is that Bitcoin and the blockchain are rock solid. You don't get these kind of institutions making these kinds of investments into technologies unless they are absolutely certain that the foundational underpinnings are absolutely set in granite. So you can take that to the bank. Okay, this is a safe technology, and your money is safe as long as you take the same sensible precautions that you would take with any other kind of money. Keep your money offline, sorry, when you're not using it. Have your wallet on your hard drive, and I also back mine up to a thumb drive. So I have a completely disconnected copy of my bank account with Bitcoin. These are just simple ways to secure your money. And so other than that, the technology is fine. They've told you. Forget anything you hear to the contrary. Forget anything that you hear from anyone else where they put a slur on Bitcoin and blockchain technology. And you tell them that the largest banking corporations in the world are adopting this very same technology. Okay, so what I wanted to point out here is, the contradiction I'm talking about is that quite often you'll see an article or you'll hear a piece in the news about, a crypto bank that went down. Yeah, especially with things like Mt. Gox and stuff like that, it's completely insecure, it's unstable, it's dangerous, it's unregulated, there's all kinds of problems. Excuse me, I've noticed on some of my videos, I'm just going to do a little interjection here. I bought some fruit a little while ago, and these are fruit flies zooming around. I put them in my composter, and I guess the eggs hatched, and so if you're wondering what that is buzzing across the screen, that's what it is. Okay, so here we are, Bitcoin technology, blockchain technology being used by everyone, and so I find it kind of interesting that the government is telling you that it's an unsafe, unsecure mechanism. But if that's the case, why are all these corporations rushing into blockchain technology and are just crowing at its efficiency and effectiveness, its seamlessness? I mean, when you look at I've looked at the algorithms and or the formula behind the algorithms, and trust me, the Bitcoin algorithms are so elegant, it's unbelievable. You have to check them out. They're quite interesting. But they're very, very elegant, very, very simple, but oh so effective. And it's this triple entry accounting that's the key. It's this ability to update and verify transactions without a third party, because that's what slows you down. Okay, when you have to go to, when you sell a house, you have to get that sale verified by a lawyer. And that's about $1,500 for that fee, and but with blockchain you don't need to do that, and that is the strength. This is the power for the people. This is a currency for the people. It's so honest, it's inscrutable, and that's why companies are now flocking to blockchain technology, and that is why that the banksters at the central banking, the Bank of International Settlements, will be dragged kicking and screaming into accepting Bitcoin as the new reserve currency of the world, because none of these greedy little people can be trusted with other people's money. They just can't keep their fingers off it. So you need to have a mechanism. And thanks to the technology of the internet and computers, you can completely decentralize this process. This exists in everyone's computer, although I can see a problem, because I checked the other day. I had some issues with storage on my computer, and I went to actually the really interesting program you can download called a Space Sniffer. Space Snipper. Space Snipper it's called. And what this does is you get it to run a diagnostic on your C drive, for example, and it will show you in like a block chart where all of your memory is being allocated. Very, very handy, very, very handy. Anyways, I found to my surprise that the Bitcoin Core is taking up now 168 gig of space on my hard drive. Now I have a 500 gig hard drive, and hopefully that doesn't overrun, because as Bitcoin becomes more popular, of course the transaction rate goes up. And of course I think this is why you're going to see the success of things like Ethereum and Litecoin, that are almost sort of subsidiaries of Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will become, you know, the central transact in, transact out currency, and the Ethereum and the Litecoin will become, you know, the usable. This is where the rubber hits the road for street usage. Anyway, I think that's about it, but I do think it is interesting that more and more people talking about Bitcoin being the reserve currency of the world. And you know, I was predicting this well over 2 years ago. I made a video of predictions, and you can go and check that out if you like, but I said that I thought that this is where Bitcoin would end up. And I think it's just because, more for an emotional reason than anything else, and that is that everybody, it doesn't matter whether you are crooked. You know, in fact, I mean, when you look at a system like the financial system that we have, you know, it can probably function with up to 15 to 20% corruption taking place. And who knows, maybe that corruption is actually a requirement for a smooth functioning financial system. But when you start to have corruption getting into 50, 60, 70% of transactions, and court rulings and this kind of stuff, I mean, it's been absolutely atrocious. You know, the people who've got away with blue murder in this banking scandal from 2007, no one's gone to jail. And yet, you know, there are kids being put into jail every day, you know, for stealing candies and minor crimes. And don't get me wrong, I'm not supporting any idea of minor crime, but I'm just holding that up as a comparison. That these people stole billions, and there has been no kind of retribution or justice that has been vested on these people. Okay, so in a system, you need to have a fair amount of honesty. And even during the Second World War, you know, that's what Switzerland was. Okay, this was a place where everybody hung up their guns. They went into Switzerland and they did their wheeling and dealing and trading, and everyone left with all their fingers. And you knew that if you transacted a bank deposit from this bank to this bank, that it went through and there was a debit on this side and a credit on this side. Okay, and that's what Bitcoin will do. It will create that honest platform that everyone trusts to deal within. Okay, after Cyprus, after the banking collapse in Cyprus, which was really all about taking down Russian oligarchs more than anything else, because all of the big Russian billionaires banked in Cyprus. Okay, so that basically put the fear of God into an awful lot of very rich people. And so, you know, it's proven that the banking system is just becoming more and more unsound and far too costly. You know, I think us little guys deserve a break here, and Bitcoin really could be that break that we all deserve. Now, just as another little aside about this, something which I find absolutely hilarious is, you know, with all these corporations and financial institutions, which to date have been basically the crookedest thing on the face of this planet. I mean, when you think of money and its effect on people and people's lives, I mean, it runs through our society like a current. And when you have corruption at the top and manipulation at the top, it has a really big effect on the common man's pocketbook. So anyway, All of these banking institutions are walking into blockchain thinking, great, we can save some money. That's the whole motivation. They think they're going to save some money. And this is like the fox getting caught in its own trap, because they've wandered blindly into the crypto sphere and they don't realize that it's uncorruptible. That's the funniest thing about this, is you cannot corrupt Bitcoin. It just stops. If you mess around with the Bitcoin algorithm, if you do anything to corrupt Bitcoin, there is no way for loose change, for money to disappear. There's no way to create money out of thin air. There's no fractional reserve. So they're walking into a baited trap, and they're gobbling up the bait perfectly, and it's going to force them to be honest. As you saw before, it says that it removes fraud from within the system. Okay, so you tell me how the current system is going to survive when it's basically built on fraud. My God. So this is actually funny. There is a little bit of poetic justice taking place here, folks, and I hope that you can appreciate the universe's sense of humor, because this is instant karma for all of these greedy people. They're going to walk into that cell and they're going to lock that door of their own accord. And remember, I don't know if you recall this, but it's been said that with the New World Order that we would beg for the one world currency and one world government. Well, how are you going to run a one world government when you put yourself in a cell? So please enjoy the delicious irony of some of the things that are taking place in today's world, because I sure am. Okay, well, that's about it. That's my update on Bitcoin, and I wish you all a very good evening, and please do like and subscribe, and press that big red button. It does me an awful lot of good, and if you have a comment, please join the conversation. I think Bitcoin is going to be a terrific thing in the future, so please do join the conversation. So this is Hound Dog Steve signing off, and you take care, and you have a great week. See you now.